Hey everyone, it's Mari. Thanks so much for joining Kelly Barron and I again this week for another episode of Scrap the Challenge. This week we decided to go with the bingo challenge, and the bingo challenge format that we decided to use is from Mercy Tiara's International Scrapbooking Day, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. And we really loved that. We thought it was super creative and had lots of really neat ideas on it. So my line that I chose is using gold, using splatters, florals, an enamel shape, and then a free space. So what you'll see me doing here is I've just taken some of the products from a Felicity Jane kit, or a few kits I've kind of combined. What I've ended up doing with all the kits from Felicity Jane that I have in my stash from over the last year is I've just kind of combined everything together, all of the embellishments and the papers and everything. And now I can just go to that one-stop shop for some Felicity Jane products. So I really like that. And the beautiful thing about the kits is they really work well together. Now, I'm also using this gorgeous cut file from the Just Nick cut file shop online from Nicole Noasad. And this cut file is called Hearts Aflutter. I really love it. And I'm going to back it with this really pretty soft peach pattern paper from Felicity Jane. You'll just see me taking my pencil. I'm going to trace around the edge of that piece that I want to back with this paper. And then I'll just cut just slightly inside of that pencil line so that it's a little bit smaller. And then what I'm going to do is take my liquid adhesive and add that to the back of the cut file and glue this pattern paper down to that. So there's a couple of different kinds of, obviously there's a few different kinds of adhesive that you can use for this. My favorite is definitely to use the multi-medium, the matte multi-medium from Ranger, just because it dries. It doesn't dry glossy, it dries matte. And so that if you do get that onto your pattern paper, it doesn't show up on that pattern paper when it's dry. So I like that. I like that idea of that adhesive. So you're going to just see me back this one heart on camera. I do exactly the same process for all of the other little hearts. What I really love about this cut file is there are just a few open pieces on it to back, so that it doesn't take quite as long if you are backing those pieces with pattern paper. So you'll just see me taking my scissors. I'm going to just tape down that thread because I have actually sewn around two of the hearts with some gold thread using my sewing machine. Now I didn't sew around all of my hearts just because that takes quite a bit of time to do, and I just wanted to add just a little pop of gold on a couple of the two largest hearts. So you'll see that now that I have that little bit of additional texture added with that thread and that sewing. And I also end up sewing around the entire perimeter of that wood grain paper as well in white thread. So now I'm going to take some of this really pretty heart pattern paper, and I'm going to continue with the heart theme. I'm going to just use that as the first layer behind my photograph. Now, you actually can't really see necessarily that those are hearts unless you really look. It just looks like a black pattern. You'll notice that at the bottom of my photograph, you can't see the black pattern of the hearts just because of the way that I put the photograph on that paper. I ended up just adding a little tiny strip of the black hearts to the bottom of that photo mat later because I didn't like how that looked. Now the photograph that I'm using here, I printed, I'm not exactly sure, 100% sure of the dimensions. It's not a complete square. It's a little bit taller than it is wide, and I printed it in black and white. I'm going to just add another layer onto my mat using some vellum that has some gold foil hearts on it. And I'm going to just continue then in that photo mat, a little bit of the gold theme that's going on. Now I've added that white stitching around the edges of my wood grain paper, and I'm just going to lift up the very edge of the paper there a little bit, just so that it adds a little bit more dimension to the frame or the outer edges of my layout. Now I just wanted to put that cut file basically in the center horizontally and vertically, I guess, on the layout. And then I just basically, I'm going to put that photo pretty much in the middle there, maybe a little bit lower to the bottom than to the top, or a little closer to the bottom than the top. Now I'm just going to start thinking about how I'm going to embellish this. Now, like I said, one of my choices on my bingo line is florals. So I took a couple of the florals from the Felicity Jane kit that I'm going to be using in the two top areas, in the top right and the bottom left, just to create that diagonal eye line going from the top to the bottom diagonally, so that you catch the picture on your way from one floral piece to the next. Always want the focal piece to be the photograph, and so I feel like this design definitely accomplishes that focal piece. And I just took I took that enamel word, well, it says bless, but it actually said blessings, and I just took the INGS off of it. This layout is about Bailey and Brady's first home. They bought a house, I want to say maybe in April. And this is a picture of them outside of their new home. They're not actually in their house yet. They don't take possession for a little bit yet, but this is a day that they took us to see the house, and I snapped a picture of them on their front step. The house doesn't have any landscaping done yet, but the inside of the house and the outside of the house is completely finished, and they are so excited. So they will be setting up shop in their home here pretty soon. So that's exciting for them. So I just wanted to do a little layout here about that, documenting their first home. Now, you won't see any of the journaling that I'm going to do for this layout on the actual front of the layout. I'm going to do that on the back just because it's private, and whenever I'm sharing a layout with other people, like the YouTube audience or on my Pinterest board or whatever, if the journaling's private, I like to just do that, or if it's hidden or on the back of the layout, for example. Now I'm taking a few Maggie Holmes little bits and pieces here as well from her most recent collection. And I'm going to just add a few little bits and pieces from there. So I'm going to add a little label sticker up at the top, and I really like how that looks. I end up taking one of the word stickers from that same sheet and adding that onto the layout as well. I think I add a little chipboard heart down at the bottom as well from the Chasing Dreams collection also. And this is just really simple, very simply embellished. And that's one of the things that I really love about using a cut file, is it really takes a lot of the guesswork away from creating your layout, because a cut file, generally speaking, adds so much detail to your layout already that you don't have to do a ton of other things. Now that's a little puffy fabric heart from Chasing Dreams as well. And you can see that I've added a few little tiny gold confetti pieces as well in 3 different places around the layout, just adding some more gold. The hour chipboard letters down at the bottom, the O, the U, and the R, are actually from a Felicity Jane kit as well. And that word home at the bottom there is also from Felicity Jane. I think that was back in November or something like that. Was from that, or that was from that kit. Okay, so let me see, what am I doing now? This is where I'm just adding that little phrase sticker, and it says happy day, and I'm going to add that up at the top. And you know what? I'm almost finished with this layout. But I did decide that I just wanted to add a little bit of something extra behind that photo, and that's this really pretty little delicate doily. And I really love how that looks. And I also added a little strip of that heart washi tape down at the bottom as well, just to jazz it up a tiny little bit more. Now, I just couldn't get away without adding some more gold and my Heidi Swap Color Shine gold here. So I'm going to add a few splatters, since that was one of my things from the bingo line. So my bingo again was gold, and then splatters, some floral, an enamel shape, which is the word bless, and my free space. So I really like how this turned out. If you want to go over to Mercy Tiara's 27-day challenge on Facebook, I'm sure you'll be able to find the bingo challenge from National Scrapbooking Day. And check out Kelly's video as well. I will leave the link, as always, in the description below, so that you can easily link up with her channel and check out her challenge, and if you haven't done so first. And so thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Sorry I've been a little bit incognito here on YouTube. I have been so busy at work. Teacher life at this time of year, I'll tell you, it's the busiest time. So hope to see you again soon back on my channel. Take care and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.